Laura Bailey changes Exandria forever, D&D creates a real-life Beholder, and is Avatar: The Last Airbender coming to Magic the Gathering this year?
Come on, give me it. Give me it.
Welcome to Tabletop News Tuesday on the Character Sheet, your first look at the week's biggest fantasy and TTRPG news. Before we break down the week's biggest stories so far, why not hit those like and subscribe buttons to help us keep growing? And then, let's dive into some news. Laura Bailey may have just changed Exandria forever in the latest episode of Critical Role. Critical Role Campaign 3 was always coming down to the Bells Hell's choice of how to deal with Predathos, and it was Laura Bailey who decided to take on the role as the vessel of Predathos after some surprising cold feet from Fern.
No. Wait.
Potentially ushering in the end of the gods as we know them in Exandria. While it was a little shocking to see Ashley Johnson as Fern suddenly back away from the obvious chaos choice in the biggest moment, Laura Bailey has talked at length about how tempted she has been to let Imogen give in to Predathos, and how it's pulled her in that direction several times during the campaign. And now she's become the dog that caught the car. With Predathos warping Imogen's body already, and the gods certainly planning some kind of defense the second Imogen and Predathos step out of its prison, we may finally be seeing the end of the gods on Exandria. With Predathos looking to step out of its cage at the start of the next episode, the gods are being forced into an immediate fight or flight scenario, and either way it's going to leave massive changes to Exandria, either through their death or departure, or the collateral damage they inflict if they decide to fight back against the God Eater. And Laura's decision as Imogen, while this might seem like a great decision in terms of character development for Imogen and something she's kind of been building towards and alluding to for as long as Laura Bailey's been playing her and sort of known about Predathos in the campaign, mechanically, it has a very major problem that is going to effectively reshape Exandria as we know it. And that is that Imogen has very poor wisdom saves. So when she decided to reach forward and become the vessel instead of Fern, who on the other hand has very, very good wisdom saves, it sort of opens up the possibility that even with Fern's help to try and give her some kind of advantage using that Ruidus-born tether between the two, she's just going to fail a lot more of those wisdom saves than Fern would, and that probably doesn't mean good things for the gods. And honestly, we can't wait to see how that all shakes out in just 2 more days.
I don't see another way out of this, y'all.
In other news, Dungeons & Dragons and Universal Studios are bringing Thanasar, the best-known Beholder in all of D&D, to life for their D&D Universal Fan Fest night. The event will apparently feature a massive human-operated Thanasar puppet according to a casting call posted by Universal Studios. The role calls for a performer in a blackout suit to operate a, quote, push-pull articulated creature with both hands from a standing position, and requires them to be able to push and pull up to 30 pounds of suspended weight at a time. Assuming those suspended weights are the eye stalks of Thanasar, one of the only real articulatable, if that's a word, things we can think of on a Beholder, we are talking about one truly massive Beholder puppet. We also found out that the D&D experience at Universal Fan Fest night will run about 45 minutes a show and be performed around 7 times a night. So if a massive Beholder puppet gets your D&D blood pumping, keep your eyes peeled for tickets and details when the event goes live this April and May.
Hot damn!
And finally, did Magic the Gathering leak a full Avatar: The Last Airbender set to end 2025? With Wizards of the Coast announcing that their Universes Beyond sets, which bring in massive IPs from other companies like Warhammer 40k, Doctor Who, or Lord of the Rings, are going to become fully legal starting with the summer's wildly anticipated Final Fantasy set, fans have been trying to figure out what the last Universes Beyond set of 2025 will be. And Magic the Gathering Arena may have just revealed that Avatar: The Last Airbender will be taking that final slot. Magic the Gathering Arena has been running deals based on the upcoming sets during the month of January, like deals on a Final Flare and 7 Crystal Shards to promote Final Fantasy set, or a batch of all Spider cards for their Spider-Man set. And yesterday, Arena revealed 4 cards that each reference one of the Avatar elements, as well as 2 cards that specifically feature bending, which has fans pretty convinced we're getting Avatar: The Last Airbender and Magic the Gathering to end the year. Add in the fact that Wizards of the Coast already has a deal with Nickelodeon, who owns Avatar, to produce a SpongeBob Secret Lair drop this year as well, and it seems like almost a certainty that Avatar is coming to Magic. Now, if that does come true, the sales could be through the roof, as Avatar fans are more than willing to show their support with their wallets, with Avatar's TTRPG holding the previous Kickstarter record of over $10 million funded before it was finally overcome by the Cosmere RPG Kickstarter last year. Now, combine that financially supportive and huge fan base with an already massive popular card game like Magic, and you could be looking at something that might even rival the record-breaking sales of Magic's Journey in Middle-earth set. So if you're a fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender, or just a fan of Magic the Gathering, prepare for what could be the biggest set of 2025 and one of the biggest Magic the Gathering sets of all time if Avatar: The Last Airbender takes the final slot for 2025 releases at the end of this year. And that's all we have for Tabletop News Tuesday today. Make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons, and we'll be back with more news tomorrow.